The first manifestation is a feeling. Next, you'll start having thoughts that match it. Good feeling thoughts that match it. So the next manifestation, after the manifestation of the emotion, will be more manifestations, more things that enhance that first manifestation. So the emotion's just going to feel better. It's going to get stronger. It's going to feel more specific. So we could say to you, in fact we will, that this first manifestation is a general manifestation in that I feel good just because I want to, or I feel good because I'm anticipating things coming, don't know what, don't know where, don't know when, don't know who necessarily, and don't need those specifics to feel good. That's the point that we want you to come to. I don't need all of those specifics to initially feel good, because I can feel good in the general sense that things always work out for me, in the general sense that the laws of the universe are always consistent, in the general sense that I have an emotional guidance system that will help me to keep myself in alignment with who I am, in the general sense that I accept that I am a worthy being. Well, that's general, but most of you aren't really doing a very good job of that, because you have specifically been not feeling worthy for a very long time. So when we say, oh, you are worthy, you say, yeah, but tell me how to get the things I want. Tell me how to get the things I want, and when I get them, I will feel worthy. And we say, well, you have to feel worthy, you have to feel capable, you have to feel excited, you have to be vibrationally ready before those things can come. And you say, yeah, but if you would just show me how to get them, then I will have a feeling response to them. And we say, we know you would, but don't play the game that way. Because if you need the evidence before you have the feeling, then you slow it all way down. But if you can show yourself, and you can show yourself that today in the hours that we are together, that you can accomplish the emotional manifestation, you can feel better now about anything that is your desire or your issue. When you show yourself that, and you practice it, not because you have the ulterior motive, oh yeah, I'll do this boring work that Abraham is teaching me, and if I do it long enough, then I'll get what I really want. It is not for that ulterior motive. We want you to do it for the instant manifestation of achieving the vibrational emotion of well-being, which is the reason that you want every single thing to come into being anyway. We know you heard it. Before we're finished today, we want you to know it like we know it. Because when you discover the power of your ability to focus, the power of your ability to focus yourself into a good feeling emotion, you are free from all bondage. You are free from all bondage which exists for only one reason. It exists because there is vibrational resistance within you that you've practiced into place. And when you let go of that vibrational resistance that you've practiced into place, then it's as simple as saying, I like that. You achieve the vibrational good feeling of it, and then the universe says to you, and we're not kidding you about this at all, that feeling that is chronically present within you matches this. Would you like some of it? Matches this. Would you like some of it? Matches this. Matches this. Matches this clarity. Matches this vitality. Matches this stamina. Matches this conversation with this lovely person, matches this piece of information that is just the right information at the right time, matches this rendezvous with this set of people, matches this experience, matches this manifestation. In other words, the matching just gets more and more and more and more deliciously and satisfyingly specific. But you got to start with the foundation that as it fills in with stuff you do want rather than stuff you don't want. That was just brilliant. You know, you are more than you see in these physical bodies. You sense that. We want you to know it. You were source energy before you came into this body, and even though you are in this body, you are still more source energy than anything else. And this source energy part of you is expressing through you all the time. People often think, those that accept that there is something beyond this, and how could anyone not accept that there is something beyond this? You're good, but you're not that good. You've not managed to scrape enough dirt together and launch it into orbit to create another planet. In other words, you're good, but you've just got to look around and acknowledge that there's something really big going on of which you are a part. And that larger part of you remains non-physically focused. But while that larger part of you remains non-physically focused, you have full access to it here and now, out here on this leading edge of creation. And we want you to hear the specifically chosen run of those words. Out here where you are on this leading edge creation, on this leading edge creation. So if you accept that source energy exists, and you just sort of got to because here you all are, as you acknowledge that this source energy exists, don't work so hard to be good so that you can return to the heaven that you think is where source energy is. Instead, figure out how to achieve a vibration right here and now in your powerful now so that you allow your full revelation or your full recognition of that source energy right here, out here on the leading edge where it has always been focused. How you ever got the idea that God, or whatever you want to call that non-physical beingness, is sitting somewhere apart from you, waiting for you to figure stuff out so that you can rejoin it, is truly the byproduct of man's disconnecting himself completely from the picture, from the creative picture of how it all fits together. You are source energy in these physical bodies. You cannot disconnect yourself from that source energy. But you can choose lackful thought about yourself, about others, about your government. You can choose worrisome thoughts about yourself, about others, about your government. You can choose thoughts that don't feel good about just about anything. And in the doing so, you deprive yourself of your awareness of source who is flowing through you, whether you know source is flowing through you or not. In a moment of brilliance, you say, wonder where that came from. And we say, we don't want you to wonder anymore. It came from your alignment. When you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, you're tuned in to the frequency of all that you are, you see. And after you taste that a little bit, anything less than that is not only just not okay, it's really, really not okay. You can't feel the deliciousness of alignment and then find some petty, unimportant thing to use as your reason to choose a vibrational frequency that's different than the frequency of source, and deprive yourself of source energy without knowing that something has gone really, really wrong. And it isn't permanently wrong, it's just temporarily wrong in the sense that it's not as right as it could be, or as you want it to be, or really, we'll go as far as saying as it should be, because you are meant to feel good. You are meant to be brilliant. You are meant to be tuned into the high frequency of who you really are. You intended when you came into these physical bodies to explore variety. Yes, you did. And you never asked for a feathered nest. Not one of you said, I'll go forth, but please make sure everything's just the way I would like it to be, so all I have to do is just observe my environment. Because all of you knew that you wanted variety to help you to focus your improvements into place, because you are a creator, you see. You know how you don't like it when somebody else bosses you around all the time? You don't like it because you came to explore and to come to your conclusions, because you know you have the resources of all that is backing you up to flesh it out and fill it in for your surprise and delight and satisfaction, for the details of all that you are. You knew that that was what creation is about. You didn't come to fix things that are broken. You came to create things that are new. You came to explore and discover new combinations with new juxtapositions of new experiences. You intended to give birth to desires because you are an eternal creator, and eternity and evolution and continual evolution of desire is all the same thing. You can't be eternal and stand still. And so you were born into the most extraordinary, diverse environment where new desire would be, you knew it for sure, would be inspired within you. And when that inspiration occurs, it radiates vibrationally like rockets of desire. And as that radiated desire moves forward, it becomes an actual creation. The book we wrote, entitled Ask and It Is Given, speaks to that exactly. Because when contrast causes you to ask, it becomes an immediate manifestation. But as humans, you don't want to call those emotions manifestations. You don't want the idea of the new car or the idea of the improved body or the idea of the lovely relationship. You don't want, for the most part, the idea to be called the manifestation. You want the car in the garage and the lover in the bed and the improvement in the body. In other words, you want proof. You want others to be able to see it. But if you can accept that the idea is the manifestation and you can revel in the fact that you are consciousness exploring variety, and that out of that variety is born desire, and that desire matters more than everything else put together, because that desire is the expansion of the universe. If you can accept that as your creation and relax into the knowing that you have done what you came to do, in the absence of resistance, it is our promise to you that the specifics of that desire will fill in around you in the most delightful dance with all of the others that you play with on your planet, as you together continue to move forward in this never-ending expansion that we are all about. Our strongest desire is that you accept that that which you call source energy, or that which you call God, is doing the creating that you've all been reveling in or revering right here through you in this time-space reality. That when you have that moment of delight in a new idea, that is you and Source together reveling in the eternal expansion of this universe. And it's worth celebrating right then and there. And that's what that elation that you feel is. That's that celebration that you and Source are having together, you see. And when you feel afraid, when you feel fearful, when you feel angry, when you have those negative emotions, it doesn't mean that Source is feeling those. It means that you're feeling something so bogus, so apart from the way the Source energy feels within you, that it has to equal the opposite compensation. In other words, who you really are feels so good when you pinch yourself off from it. Isn't it logical that you would feel really bad? So as you begin to understand that your emotions have always been your guidance system to let you know one thing and one thing only. How am I in my physical body right out here on the leading edge resonating with the source of all that I am? Is there full resonation, or am I off the beam in some way? So now you know everything we know. Now you know everything that is important to you. Now you know that when you feel fear, all it means is Source doesn't agree with you. And Source is right here present with you, always in this leading edge moment. You are never by yourself. You are never without the full resources of all that you are. You cannot sever yourself from that. You cannot. You cannot sever yourself from the resources of Source. But you can deprive yourself of the feeling of Source if you activate a vibration that doesn't allow you the translation of it. Does that make sense to you? And doesn't negative emotion every single time, doesn't it have an empty quality to it? Doesn't fear feel like empty? Doesn't anger feel like empty? Doesn't it feel like it really is? You've sort of emptied yourself, much too strong of word. You've sort of disconnected yourself, much too strong of word. But it is fair to say you're depriving yourself in any moment that you feel negative emotion. You're depriving yourself of the full resources of Source that are available to you immediately. And as we're moving forward here today, we want to show you that within 10 minutes tops, no matter how long you've been in that place, no matter how long you've practiced that negative emotion, no matter what the conditions you're standing in that you're observing that may be making you feel less than good, it doesn't matter how big, bad, and awful whatever it is that you think you're living, 10 minutes is as long as we think it would ever take to achieve the important manifestation of the improved emotional state of being. And if you can accomplish the emotion, you've created the grid. And if you've created the grid and can maintain the emotion, the details will fill in. And you will feel like the most blessed, loved, cared for, worthy being who has ever lived in any environment. Because everything just fills in and says, here's more, lovely one, of what you're looking for. Here's more, here's more, here's more. You'll never get bored because there will always be more. You'll always stand in a place where your time-space reality will inspire yet a new desire to which you must achieve emotional alignment. You got that, didn't you? What do you want to talk about? We are eager to talk with you about anything that matters to you. Do not worry, we will drag you kicking and screaming into the vortex. We will have our way with you. we will resonate so powerfully the perfection of who you are and what you want that you will not be able to deny yourself of the vibration of that anymore. Begin right here.